favorite ballets can also be one of the most confusing. I have always loved Mayerling, so I thought I might take this opportunity to clear things up a bit. First of all, let's introduce the main character. His name is Rudolf, technically Crown Prince Rudolf. Now, his name is not Mayerling, so why is that the name of the ballet? Well, Mayerling is the name of the royal hunting lodge where the story takes place. And speaking of the story, it's a true story. The events portrayed in the ballet actually did happen in around 1889. The 30-year-old Crown Prince was a very disturbed individual, and the women in his life are the ones who mostly paid for it. Now, the stories between Crown Prince Rudolf and these women are mainly told via pas de deux, each one exploring the complex relationships between Rudolf and these women. After a brief prologue, Act 1 begins. When the ballet opens, Prince Rudolf has just married a young princess named Stephanie, and you'd think it would be a joyous occasion, and it starts out that way, I guess, but throughout the evening, Rudolf continually flirts with her sister, Princess Louise. Louise makes the attempt to be the good sister, but she is terribly flattered by the attention. Rudolf has absolutely no regard for Stephanie, who is witnessing the entire episode. Finally, Princess Stephanie has had enough, and she comes between the two. His parents are very embarrassed, and his father rebukes him. He grabs his wrist, but Rudolf pulls away. Also in attendance that night is the Countess Marie Lareche, who happens to be a former mistress of the prince. And she tries to rekindle their relationship, but he actually rebuffs that attempt. I love that part. Now he's worried who's looking. Another thing that Countess Marie Lareche does that evening with great importance later is when she introduces Rudolf to the Baroness Vetsera and her 17-year-old daughter Mary. Scene 2 of Act 1 takes place in the Empress's chambers. Right away we see that there is something lacking in this relationship. The motherly love that he so desperately wants and needs is not there. He tells her that he is unhappy and that he felt pressured into the marriage, but all of these words fall on deaf ears. His mother pleads with him to stop the outlandish behavior, to accept his responsibilities, and to do his duty. She does not understand that he is incapable of doing this. Suddenly, Rudolf grabs his mother's wrist, much the same as his father had done earlier in the evening. Rudolf is shocked at this behavior, and he lets go, and we come to the disturbing realization that the only women that Rudolf doesn't mind hurting are the ones who love him so much. His mother, who shows him little or no affection, is the one woman he can't bear to hurt. Without receiving the solace that he sought, the dejected crown prince leaves the room holding the wrist his father had grabbed earlier, and more than likely many times before. Rudolf finally makes his way into the wedding chamber where his bride Stephanie has been waiting. Instead of embracing her as a warm and loving husband, he attempts to frighten her with a revolver, among other things. What should have been beautiful and romantic ends up being terrifying and wild and very violent. It seems that poor Stephanie does truly love her husband and tries to please him. Stephanie do finally consummate their marriage as Act 1 comes to a close.